After last race's controversy between championship contenders Jeff Gordon and Bobby Hamilton, Gordon, during the week, made comments stating what Hamilton did was, quote, cheap, whilst Hamilton has counterclaimed and said that what he did was accidental, and that if Gordon had given up the spot and or given more room on the apron, the incident may never occurred. Even on Friday, coming into the track, Gordon's crew chief Ray Evernham made a statement regarding the incident to the media. They think they are clever with what they pulled last week. We know their game, and we know how to beat them. Chief Operator of Petty Enterprises Dale Inman immediately fired back pre-race with a statement of his own, saying that if they got a problem with how Bobby races, they should talk to him about it, instead of hiding behind the media. Just before the race, whilst putting on his helmet, Gordon was quickly asked about the recent comments exchanged between the crew chiefs, and Gordon stated, "I'm going to worry about what's in my control, and that's driving this race car. My guys know I can win this championship, and I know I can win this championship. Now I just have to be perfect." On the pole for the event is Bobby Hamilton, coming in 15 points behind Jeff Gordon. To his outside is Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt is willing to do almost anything to correct what has been an underwhelming season, to say the least, and hopes that he can get his first win of 1995 under the lights at Bristol. Behind the front row is underdog Kenny Wallace and 1990 Daytona 500 champion Derek Cope. To find Jeff Gordon, you have to go all the way to the back of the field, as Gordon in qualifying slipped up late and spun trying to complete his first lap, totaling his primary car. He'll have to dig out of a large hole in order to close the gap on Hamilton. And on a warm summer night, the field takes the green at Bristol. Hamilton immediately runs away and takes 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Earnhardt begins to fade on the top groove as the field starts shuffling around the world's fastest half mile. Hamilton pulls over 2 seconds on second place in the opening 10 laps, and by lap 15, Jeff Gordon is 18th and closing in on the top 15. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte is second, with Hutch Strickland in third, now over 4 seconds behind leader Bobby Hamilton. As Hamilton catches the tail of the field, Ricky Craven gets spun, and surprisingly does not cause a caution. The checkup causes minor damage, however, to Bobby Hamilton's front nose, causing the car to start overheating. His lead starts to fade, and soon he's reporting astronomical temperatures in the car. The team panics and starts coming up with a contingency plan to try and fix the issue. By halfway, Jeff Gordon is now 15th, and the number 77 of Bobby Hillin Jr. is running 5th in between Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison. As the leaders work through traffic, Hamilton regulates his lead, but the temps are still near catastrophe. On lap 38, pit stops begin, and Hamilton comes in. The team tries to repair the nose with replacing the screen on the radiator opening, but suddenly the engine stalls. The car will not refire, and as the engine continues to bake in the brewing heat, lap after lap stalled, losing spots as the team tries desperately to get the car running. With how everything is turning out, Ted Musgrave now has the lead and is running a splash and go strategy to win the race. He is holding on to the lead over Bill Elliott, who is also in the same strategy. They're racing for the win, but with 9 to go, both top 2 running cars crash horribly, and now third place Jeff Gordon is in the lead. Gordon also pulled the splash and go strategy, and now is in prime position over everyone. Ted Musgrave flipped during the incident, but drives away and stays out to restart second. The race restarts with 3 to go, and as a heavily damaged Ted Musgrave holds up the lead lap cars, Jeff Gordon wins his 8th career victory. He beats Rick Mast and Davey Allison, whilst Hamilton finishes 30th 2 laps down. After the race, Gordon opens his points lead to 112, but now the circuit has to survive one of NASCAR's most grueling races yet, the Southern 500. Darlington Raceway, or also known as the Lady in Black, has put up many challenges for drivers, but none quite as difficult as the Southern 500. Every mile tougher than the last, And the man leading them into this foray is the points leader Jeff Gordon. To his outside is veteran Morgan Shepherd, and Ton Musgrave starts third. Davey Allison is fourth, and sixth is Bobby Hamilton. As the summer comes to an end, we end it with one last Labor Day weekend hurrah at Darlington. Gordon pulls away early as everyone starts to single file out immediately. After 5 laps, the top 6 are on top of one another, and Hamilton is pushing it for 5th. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, has problems at the front. 4 Fords are stalking him, and he can't get away from them. He continues to lead his pit stop start at halfway. Eventually, every top 9 car follows him down at the same time, and right as they pit, caution. Ward Burton causes a massive stack up going into turn 1, damaging multiple cars. As the race cycles out, it puts multiple cars in front of the leader for a wave round possibility, and the leader is now Davey Allison. Bobby Hamilton has cycled out to second, and now former race leader Jeff Gordon is in third. The race restarts with 13 to go, and Allison begins to run away in the lap traffic. Hamilton is stalking him through it all, and with 10 to go, Hamilton is waiting for Davey to make a mistake. With 7 to go, however, Bobby fades back, and now Gordon is pouncing on him for second. Gordon tries the top into 3 and gets him. After his power move around the top, he's now second back from Davey with 6 to go. He puts on the afterburners, and heavy lap traffic runs Gordon on the apron, but he doesn't care. He's going for it. Davey, pushing through lap traffic, sends it into 1, and with 4 to go, he pays for the send. After hitting the wall, he recovers, but Gordon quickly crawls by on the apron. The race back to the caution ends with Jeff Gordon out front, and through trial and tribulation, he wins back-to-back races and his 9th career victory. He opens the points lead up now to 132 points over Bobby Hamilton. And with 8 races left, your top 10 look like this. Richmond International Raceway hosts the 24th race in the schedule. Dale Jarrett has the pole for this event, with Hutch Strickland to his outside. Dale Earnhardt will start third in pursuit of his first win in 1995 still, and Labonte's outside of him. To find the championship competitors, you have to go all the way back to 8th place for Jeff Gordon and 11th for Bobby Hamilton. As the field fires up and the pace car rolls off, we go green in Richmond. Already disaster. Gordon nudges Mark Martin's side and slides back down to Jimmy Spencer, causing an enormous pileup. The most notable casualty in the incident is his rival, Bobby Hamilton. He suffers considerable nose damage and needs serious repairs. Various others get damaged, but no driver DNFs from the event, and the race restarts on lap 7. If things couldn't get any worse, off of turn 2 on the backstretch, Hutch Strickland discards Jimmy Spencer the cheap way. After Spencer drives off and the track is cleaned up again, the race restarts on lap 13. Dale Jarrett leads, but he gets passed by Derek Cope, who begins to run away on lap 14. Another crash occurs on lap 17, slowing the pace once more. And after 5 laps of pacing, the green flag comes back out again on lap number 23. After only a lap though this time, the biggest crash of the day occurs, taking out multiple competitors. Many cars are wounded, but the worst out of them all is Bobby Hamilton. He straddles his damaged 43 car around the apron and pulls into his stall, ending his day. With 11 to go, the race restarts and Derek Cope still leads. Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon again watch from second and third as the 98 car drives away from the field. However, his lead doesn't last for long. Martin bears down on the 98 and takes a glance at him in turn 3 with 8 to go. He gets him, and as he does, caution. Gordon squeezes a nose just ahead to beat him for second place on the restart, and the wreck is once again on the backstretch involving Jimmy Spencer. With all of this, the race will now come down to a 2-lap shootout between Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon. Can Mark Martin hold him off? The restart with 2 to go, Gordon gets a jump on him, and in the 1 he sends it into the corner under Martin. Gordon sticks the low groove and comes off a 2 with a healthy lead. Mark fights hard the last 2 laps, but it comes up just short, and for 3 consecutive races, Jeff Gordon has now won. It is his 10th career win, and with Hamilton's bad day, he has expanded his points lead to 239. On the fresh concrete at Dover, Jeff Gordon and teammate Terry Labonte lock out the front row. Rusty Wallace will start third, and rookie Jeff Burton driving the Junior Johnson 11 car starts fourth. With 7 races left and looking for 4 in a row, Gordon takes the field to the green. Gordon runs away early, but Labonte reels him in. He can't pass him though. Ward Burton has now moved up to third, and Davey Allison locks in fourth. To find Hamilton, you have to go all the way back to 20th, where he slogs with the 8 car Sterling Marlin and the 25 of Schrader. Laps quickly take away as the Hendrick drivers ride near the front. Labonte rides behind Gordon contently, letting people think he might be letting Gordon have it for some ulterior reason, to give him points for the championship. With 20 to go though, everyone pits, and as it cycles out, Dale Earnhardt now comes out right behind Gordon. Jeff has to fight diligently to keep the Intimidator behind him, and after picking through lap traffic, Gordon's defense becomes easier, and he carouses to his 11th career victory. Bobby Hamilton does fight to 9th place, but it doesn't prevent the points lead from now being 284. With 6 races left, the circuit comes to the paperclip. The top 4 starters are the top 4 in points, with Davey Allison leading them from the pole. Jeff Gordon is going to go for something that in the history of the sport has only been done twice: win 5 in a row. Only Bobby Allison and Richard Petty have won 5 races in a row. And now, at one of NASCAR's most historic tracks, Gordon could write some more history. Hamilton on the opening lap from the outside fires to the lead and begins to run away. The spring race was won by Hamilton, and once again he is looking to sweep and end his rival's win streak at 4. Gordon eventually gets to second, and now the top 2 in points are 1-2. By the time Hamilton hits traffic, he has a 6-second lead, however, and by halfway the field begins to pit. Under the cycle, however, a caution comes out due to a spun Morgan Shepherd, and the field gets shuffled like a deck of cards. The only thing that remains a constant is Hamilton and Gordon at the front. The rest of the field is jumbled up, and with 16 to go and lap cars kicking up the preferred groove on the bottom, the race is on. Lap after lap, they fight the lap cars on the bottom, and with 12 to go, Gordon finally sees his opportunity to go low. He for laps is practically pushing the 1 car to try and get past Bobby Hamilton, but he still fights. With 10 to go, and just barely seeing space, Gordon performs the ultimate daredevil move of them all, sending it under mast and pushing him up to block Hamilton. Bobby regroups, and now Gordon starts legging it on him. With 4 to go, a spun John Andretti brings out the caution, ends the race under yellow, handing the win to Jeff Gordon. By the end of the race, he had a 3-second lead, as Hamilton got trapped in lap traffic and put on the top groove, where he eventually fell back to 5th. And for the 5th consecutive race, Jeff Gordon wins in 1995. It is his now 12th career victory, and with 5 races left, he has now a 301 point lead over Bobby Hamilton. With 5 races left, the circuit comes to the birthplace of NASCAR, North Wilkesboro Speedway. 1990 Daytona 500 champion Derek Cope sits on the pole, with Davey Allison to his outside. Mark Martin and Jimmy Spencer make up row 2, and Jeff Gordon, going for a historic 6 for 6, lines up 5th. As the pace car pulls off, Cope leads them to the green. Cope leads through the opening laps, but is eventually passed by Allison on lap 6. Jeff soon works by as well and begins his hunt for Allison's lead. Suddenly, a caution comes out, and it's big. Nearly hitting the same place Dave Marcus blew up at last year, Jeremy Mayfield goes for a wild ride in the 1, and afterwards the field pits, and Allison retains the lead. The race restarts on lap 13 again, with Cope in second. Jeffrey Bodine wreaks havoc for the top 2, and makes a hole for Gordon to slip through to take both of them from 3rd. Allison stalks the 24, trying to close the gap, but no matter what Davey could do, he couldn't stop history. Gordon wins 6 in a row, and surpasses Bobby Allison to become only the 2nd man to win that many consecutive races. It is his 13th career win and 10th of 1995, and to stack on the accomplishments, His points lead is now 336 with 4 races left. Over the 6-race streak, Hamilton assembled an average finish of 13.833, whilst Jeff Gordon had an average finish of 1. He said at Bristol that he had to be perfect, and he was.